Hey y'all, welcome back. Hope you're having a good Thursday morning. Hope you find yourself blessed. Uh, almost the end of another week. It's been another hot one here. Miserable. But hey, we're all getting used to that by now, right? I want to jump right into it this morning. Um, you know, from the title, you guys are probably assuming the worst. But I'm going to get real with you guys for a little bit. Because I've noticed this going on a lot. Everywhere. Okay. Um, Everybody right now has got this not every, okay, let me take that back. I won't say everybody. Because there's still several people that are right where they need to be. You know, you guys are still growing your food, canning, stacking it, stocking it. Y'all are still doing the thing. And that's awesome. Kudos. Okay? But I still have a little bit to say about everybody, too. But I've noticed a lot of folks are getting, and this everything I'm going to say this evening is my opinion. Okay? If you don't agree, if I come off as a jerk, I apologize. Sorry, not sorry, I guess. It's just everything is in my opinion. If I offend you, if you find it offensive, I hate to see you go. But I'm getting back to what it should be. Okay? And I think we all need to, in a certain aspect. Because there's so many people right now that are so sidetracked, so distracted. You know, people are on this merry-go-round of fake news, hope, empty promises, things that's never going to happen. Especially the fake news. You know, take our president for example. If it was anybody else, or if it was 2 years ago, he would have been out of office so quick your head would have spun. That's not happening now. This guy has done nothing but made our country a laughing stock, a mockery, you name it, and it's getting worse every day, every hour. You know, and now he's most likely stranded all these people, and I see. I'm not even going to get into it. Y'all know what's going on, okay? But unless it's of his own doing, or somebody and his side of the party flips the script on him, he's not going anywhere. You know, it's not too long ago. You know, I was a Trump supporter. You know, would we be in better shape now if things hadn't gone off the way it did? Most likely. Is it guaranteed? No. You know, and I know a lot of folks still believe that, and I'll admit, up until a couple months ago, I was one of these people. That he was still behind the scenes. You know, making some calls. Okay, even if that is true, and he's let all this stuff happen to this country, and now our military is being forced to get vaccinated, and this whole Afghanistan debacle, and not to mention everything that he done, letting it just be undone. If he truly has any power right now and he's let all this happen, kick rocks, son. I don't want him back. Period. That's just my way of thinking. You know, if he is in power and he's let all this happen, we don't need him. Period. You know, I don't care what kind of uproar it would have caused or whatever if he would happen to have come back. It don't matter. That would have been better than what's happened to this country now. In my opinion. Like I said at the beginning, all this is my opinion. But what's important to me is people being sidetracked. or people thinking that they're ready. You're not. Well, some of you are, I'm sure. I'm not ready. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not ready. We're not ready. You know, um, but everybody's being distracted, and look here or look there. You know, it's that's exactly what they want to happen. They're wanting everybody to lose focus. So, and I'll be the first to admit there's something going on. All right, there's something bigger, in my opinion, than what's going on in Afghanistan, and that's absolutely heartbreaking. You guys know me. I'm not cold like that. My heart absolutely breaks for those people. But there's something else going on. Look at all the distractions that are going on right now. All the numbers going up, the mandates, the Afghanistan deal, Trump over here on the sidelines keeping everybody going. Something is going on. And, as good of a president as Donald Trump was, you'd be a fool to think that he's not in on it. In my opinion. Okay? But us being distracted and falling for everything, hanging on every word that any of the news brought. I mean, I'm just not just talking about CNN and ABC. Fox has finally flipped on us. I'm talking about the news sources that I even use. Right wing or Newsmax, OAN. Those guys. They're made to distract us and to derail what we need to be doing. Okay? And a lot of us think, okay, I got a year's worth of food. I got a year's worth of water. I got a well outside. I got this. I got that. I'm set. All right. What about when that year is done? What about the family that is going to come calling as soon as everything goes sideways? You're going to have those family come in. And as hard as we want to all be, if it's close family, you're not going to turn them away. Not unless you're just a complete, you're not going to turn your loved ones away. I'm not saying you're going to welcome them in and give them half your food, and, I'm not going to say that. But you're going to end up giving them something, or, taking it out in trade with them working for you, helping you with chores, something, There's a big chance it'll go down like that. And if you can turn family away like that, then, kudos to you. If you can be that stone cold when you have to be, that might save your life, and good for you. But I don't see myself being able to just absolutely refuse family. But that's neither here nor there. But after the food's gone, we all seen this year, you can't depend on a garden. You can't. So, and a lot of us, I'm new to it. Like I said, this is all my opinion. I can't emphasize that enough. Because I don't want people coming at me like, oh, no, I guess you're just so prepared. Because no, I'm not. This is my first year of canning, my first year of dehydrating. I've learned a lot this year. But am I ready for economic collapse or, SHTF and, everything it brings with it? No, not as far as food-wise goes. We've got enough food to last a while, yes. But do I have enough canned to get me through until, next growing season and hope and pray for a good yield? No, I do not. Now, what if we have another year like this year, next year? It pours like 2 inches of rain every day for 3 weeks, and then the sun bakes everything at 95 plus degrees for the rest of the summer and fries everything except for a few select vegetables. I can't live on cucumbers and peppers. Nobody could. um, so, what are your plans for, when the food's gone? And you can't just assume you're going to be able to run to the woods and kill animals, because everybody else in the country is going to have that same idea. And a lot of us can hunt, a lot of us can shoot, a lot of us can't. So, how much ammo? That's another big deal right now, which is obviously made to distract us. A very effective distraction, might I add, because that's something that we see, right in front of us. We know that we know for a fact. But how much ammo are you going to go out in the woods and waste trying to hit a squirrel? Because hitting a deer is a lot easier than hitting a squirrel. And if you have a family of 4, you can bet if that's all the meat you got, it's going to take 6 to 10 of those dudes a day to keep your family fed. It's a lot of squirrel. It's a lot of ammo. What I would suggest on that is trapping. I've never done snares. Okay, I never have. But from what I've read and people I talk to, snares wear out very fast. Okay, that's a lot of material that is going to be effective for a couple times. What I would suggest is steel traps. They will last literally forever as long as you take care of them. You can get a steel trap online right now for like $8. Of course, the prices go up with the sizes. But for $8, you can get a steel trap that will kill a squirrel. Well, not kill it, but will trap a squirrel, a raccoon, a possum, any small game like that, rabbits. And you can get steel traps all the way up that will trap a bear. Alright? Now, obviously that depends on where you live. You can also get live traps. They usually start out for small game about $30. But you have live traps. If you have the funds and you can get you 3 or 4 live traps, the plus thing about those is you catch live animals. All you got to do is feed them a little bit and water them. Keep them alive till you're ready to need them. You don't have to worry about the meat going bad. You can, put them in your barn or put them out behind the house. Just keep them fed and watered. And when time comes that you need that meat, and I'm talking about, SHTF. I'm not talking about doing it now and raising wild animals in your backyard. I'm talking about, when the need arises, using these steel traps or live traps to catch live food and just keep it healthy and alive until you actually need it, as opposed to trying to find a way to keep your meat from spoiling. Just a thought. Fishing, fishing is a lot easier than hunting. I'll be straight up with you. But, do you know how to make cordage if you had to? To make fishing line if you had to? Because, you can buy all the fishing line in the world. It's eventually going to dry rot or you're going to run out. Cutting a pole to make a pole out of, that's not hard, no big deal. But, learning how to make cordage, stuff like that, definitely going to want to know how to do that kind of stuff. Basically, what I'm getting at is you're going to need to know skills even more than just being prep, with your food and all your cool stuff in your bug out bag. And the water, water is going to be, it's inevitable. It's going to be a situation. No matter what kind of water you're sitting on right now, unless you've got a very good, dependable well and you absolutely know you're not going to have to bug out, like you're that secluded, water eventually one day is going to be an option. And that's just going to come, that's just going to depend on the circumstance you're in. That's going to vary for every single case. I have really no advice on that, because like I said, that's going to vary for everybody. But one thing you're going to want to make daggone good and sure that you can do is fire. I watch videos. These people are hell bent on trying to learn how to make and use bow drills and stuff. Why? I'm not saying that's not a good skill to have. So don't yell at me. I'm just saying, right now, while you can, why stock up? On lighters. A ferro rod and striker, even a small one, is going to last 100 times longer than that bow drill is. Your bow drill gets wet, you're screwed for a while. Your lighter or your ferro rod gets wet, that dry it out quickly, easily. You can dry out a big lighter in like 30 seconds and be building a fire. Same way with a ferro rod. It don't even matter if it's wet, really. But you're going to want to know that you can have a fire regardless. Because everything revolves around fire. Everything. Another good skill, and this is one I'm just starting out on. I'm just kind of watching, trying to pick up on things, before I actually, I'm looking right now at ways to do it at home without buying anything, just to pick it up, the skill, and that's forging metal. When all this goes down, that's one thing there's not going to be a shortage of, is metal. You're going to have old cars sitting around. You're going to have junk trucks. You're going to have old farm equipment, whatever, sitting everywhere. Metal is going to be one thing. Now, it's going to be hard. There's nothing easy about forging metal. But, I was watching a guy today that done it in a fire pit in his backyard with a hair dryer, with a metal tube blowing the air into the fire pit, and just using a flat piece of steel to hammer on and a little ball peen hammer. He was making stuff out of rebar. That was awesome. And anybody could do that in their own backyard, like right now, And of course, you progress from there. But, once you get good enough and you can advance that, all the metal that's going to be laying around. Because what happens if, you break your knife or your knife handle, or you break, whatever? You're going to have a way to fix that. Yeah, I mean, you can, whittle a knife handle out of wood. Absolutely. And that's another skill you're going to want to learn, is woodworking, carpentry, at least basic woodworking and carpentry skills. What if you have to, your door on your house, if you're bugging in or whatever, your door gets broke in. Do you know how to build a new door and rehang it? Can you make, hinge pins out of old nails and things just stuff you're going to have to know how to do. Anything like that can arise. And the more basic skill set you have, the more, not basic skill set, but the larger skill set you have of basic knowledge, the further you're going to go and the more you're going to thrive, is kind of what I'm getting at. But forging, that falls right back to, even that falls back to fire, and tools. Okay, you're going to want, you're not even going to want them, you're going to need tools. Primitive tools that you can, because you don't want to take, okay, everybody's got that one knife, right? Your favorite knife, whether it's K-bar or, Gerber, or whatever. Everybody's got that one knife that'll just slice right through a steak, like you can skin a buck, skin a squirrel, not even, just like it's butter. You don't want to be using that knife, beating the tar out of it to cut down a tree to make a pole or a post out of, okay? So you're going to want several, I don't want to say several because I don't want people thinking they got to go overboard, but you're going to want to need different, you're going to need I'll get it out in a minute, different knives for different occasions, for different situations, for different jobs, and that goes right back to forging, metal forging. You don't have to be able to make $1,000 Damascus knife, but you can make a knife pretty simple out of just a flat piece of metal. you know. But I've been watching and reading and collecting as much knowledge as I can. And one thing that I've learned and I've heard numerous people say, the two tools that you want to stock up on the most in a grid down SHTF situation that is the absolute hardest to make are files and saw blades. Like, I'm talking like bow saw, the primitive type saws, not like circular saw, stuff like that. Like, hacksaw blades, saw blades, that kind of thing, and files are the absolute hardest tool there is to make. And when you're packing, like the settlers back in the day, like axe heads, splitting mauls, hammer heads, things like that, all they done when they moved into a new territory, they just took the heads with them. Pitchfork, shovel, whatever. All they would do is take the heads with them, and then when they got where they was going, they just go cut a sapling or a limb and whittle it down and make the handles once they got there, as opposed to trying to carry this big bunch of tools with 5-foot long handles. And that's another idea. I'm not saying all this stuff is going to be possible to bug out with if you had to, but it's stuff you're going to want around. But the tools, I think, and the skills is what is going to be the downfall of a lot of prepper / survivalists. Now, I'm not talking about, you watch a lot of these bushcraft people, and man, they are phenomenal. The dude can take a rubber band, a toothpaste dispenser, and a hairbrush and make a canoe, just whatever. But, you don't have to have that degree of, skill, but you're going to want to know how to, do your basic, make a knife handle, make a knife blade, whatever, be able to repair little things around your house. You're going to want a good set of auger bits, something you can something you're going to be able to drill with no power. And that's something I would suggest, you just look up YouTube, do your own research on that kind of stuff, because there's several different ways. Just like the other tools, you can make an auger head out of a piece of cast iron T-pipe. I don't even know if that's even what they're called, but you can make a T-handle out of one of those, and then you can make the part you turn once you get to where you're going. That's just simply a stick cut to size and shoved through there. But it's things like that, guys, that are really going to get us where we need to be to make it through this thing, and to shut off the TV. Even YouTube, the stuff that's just filling us, and I'm bad at it too. I'm not talking like I'm above this, because I'm absolutely not. My wife just got on me, I don't know, it was one night last week, because I was just watching the news, reading my phone, and I was just getting upset. I was getting anxious, because all this stuff going on around us. And you can't decipher what's real and what's not anymore. You can't. And what's sad is, for the most part, we assume that it's not completely true. There's more behind it. What are they not telling us? If they're letting us see the stuff that's this bad, what are they hiding? That's the big question. Okay? And that's why we have to not be distracted. Just step away from it. And that's why I'm saying right now, I've talked to a couple folks that, I really value their opinions. They mean a lot to me. They're not just viewers, they're friends. And I am going to cover enough news just to, like, oh, okay, here they're doing this now. Like, I will convey the news to a certain degree, but I'm getting back to prepping. I'm getting back to prepping, growing food, taking care of my chickens, building things. That's why I made this channel. Not to worry about, he said this on channel so and so, and then what's his name over on this broadcasting network said this, and Trump's coming back in the middle of August, and oh no, he's going to come back in October. Well, he might not be running in 2024. We need to just step away from all that crap. Just step away from it and get back to what matters, and that's surviving and thriving and coming out on top. Alright, guys, like I said, I hope I did not offend anybody. That's not my intentions. You guys know I have your best interest at heart. I worry about you guys all the time. I really do. And I just want to see everybody thrive to the best of their ability. I want to see everybody come out on top of this. Are they? Probably not. Am I? Time will tell. I'd like to think I will. I'd like to think I have. If my body will hold out, I'm pretty secure that I have the knowledge. It's my body. I'm doing what I can, dropping weight, eating really healthy. Well, for the most part, I'm doing what I can as fast as I can to get in better shape. But that's neither here nor there. That's my personal situation. I just want to see you guys successful. Okay? And like I said, to those of you that are growing food and canning and dehydrating and, the homesteading deal, and I mean, y'all are doing the damn thing, and it is amazing. Keep it up. Don't get sidetracked. Don't stop. Not even for a little bit, I'm not saying don't take a day off. We all have to have a day off. I get that. But I'm saying, distraction-wise, just don't let it consume your life. Don't let it take your eye off the goal, guys. Alright? Like I said, if I have offended any of y'all, I do apologize. That's not my intentions. My intentions are your well-being. Alright? So until next time, guys, God bless you guys. I love every one of you. I truly do. Stay focused. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Help each other. We have an amazing community that is just full of knowledge. We need to share it so we can all learn it. Papa Prepper out.